What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are here for episode 15 of our Formula One 23 driver career mode. This is going to be our Formula One debut, as the last 14 episodes were all F2. If you guys have not seen that, be sure to hit the playlist. You can catch up, but if you're too lazy to watch it, that's fine. We won the F2 Drivers Championship, and we are now getting ready to sign our contract in Formula One. We are just making the schedule here. I'm not going to read it out loud. You guys can see there what races are on the schedule. We got a 10 race season. It's going to be 35% races, which is new for F1 23, but the game's been out for a while now, so most of you should know that. Now we are here to sign our Formula One contract, and if you guys have not watched the F2 videos, you wouldn't know that I've been saying almost, I think, since the very first episode, who we are going to sign with, and that team is going to be the worst team on the grid at the moment, which is AlphaTauri, because the long-term plan is to, fight our way up from AlphaTauri and then make our way into Red Bull and fight Max Verstappen for a Drivers' Championship if he is still there. We're also going to have Daniel Ricciardo as our teammate. Yuki Tsunoda has been there long enough, 3 seasons. He wasn't able to prove himself and earn a Red Bull seat, so in the classic Red Bull fashion, he is going to be booted from that seat to make space for me. Something else I want to mention as well, since this is a driver career mode, not on my team, I'm not the team principal here, I'm not going to be in charge of the upgrades, so all the upgrades are going to be automated, and any upgrades that fail, any upgrades that seem to suck or whatever, we're going to blame it on the team, not myself, because I am a driver here. And just a little livery reveal, but everyone knows what the livery looks like. It's been the same all season. But if you guys are excited for this F1 driver career mode and seeing what I can do starting from the very bottom, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when the rest of the videos come out. But while Natalie Pinkham is introducing us to the F1 season, which actually I haven't seen this before, but probably just a bunch of regular blah 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 stuff, I'm going to go through some of the goals that we are going to have this season. So we're starting AlphaTauri. It's going to be the worst car, so we are definitely going to be lower to midfield throughout the season, which means I don't think we're going to be able to win a race in the first one. If we did, I'd be super surprised. But obviously we're going to try and get as many points as we can. Hopefully we can get a few lucky qualifying sessions, which will allow us to, qualify somewhere just inside or outside the points and then fight for the points. And obviously our biggest goal of the season is to be to outperform Daniel Ricciardo, who is also new this season. He is making his return. Technically he's just got transferred because this is the start of the season. Real life, he obviously came in the middle of the season, but we want to outperform Daniel Ricciardo, of course, if we want to get a chance to have a seat at Red Bull. Otherwise, they might give it to Daniel Ricciardo, might go to another driver, who knows. So step 1 would be to outperform Daniel Ricciardo. Step 2, I think, really depends on the team, because step 2 would be to consistently finish in the points. But I think that is only going to be possible if we can get the proper number of upgrades and good quality upgrades to help us out in performance, because even with my pretty good pace in F1, being at the bottom with 105 difficulty is gonna be very hard. But we are here for our first qualifying, and we're gonna try here to get out of Q1. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, given that we have the worst car. We put up our first lap though, and we are in P12, actually ahead of Oscar Piastri. And with the update in Formula One, McLaren currently has a really good car. I think they are the quickest car on the grid at the moment, so being in front of Oscar Piastri, already a good sign. But it seems like he just had a bad lap because he is surrounded by Stroll, Ocon, myself, and Guanyu Zhou, which all of those cars besides the Aston Martin are, I would say, midfield cars. And there he goes, shoots himself up the standings, and we are currently 1/10 up on the previous flying lap. We rode that curb a little bit too hard going down into turn 10. It's like a, like a skateboard grinding thing where you just, the second you touch that curb, you kind of start grinding literally like a skateboard. You lose a bunch of time. We're able to gain that time back though through the next few corners, and we're back to 2.5 tenths up on the previous flying lap. Probably would have been a lot higher if we did not ride that curb. But through the final corner, we're down into P14. Now Kevin Magnussen has joined this little top. He's in P16. I'm not sure if 4 tenths is going to be enough, though, to get out of Q1. We're going to cross the line here, and it's going to be a P9. Oh, my goodness, a P9. That is really good. That's actually really good for Q1. It is only Q1, though, so I'm assuming the other cars will increase their pace as the qualifying sessions progress here. But we're in P9. Daniel Ricciardo nowhere to be seen, which is great. Lewis Hamilton topping out the session in P1 alongside Lando Norris. And then going into Q2 here, we put up our first lap on medium tires, and it's good enough for P14, which is actually the second slowest. So not that great, but we were on the medium tires, so hopefully we can put up a lot better of a lap here. Oscar Piastri once again down towards the bottom end of the qualifiers here in Q2 in P11, so in his rookie season as well. I can't forget that it is his rookie season. He is really good this season, so sometimes I forget that he is a rookie this year. But he is down with us in P11. George Russell also down with us in P12. So far through this first lap, we're not improving too much until we hit turn 3. We jump from 0.5 tenth to 2.5 tenths, so I think I ran a little wide on that corner on the medium tires, but hopefully we can improve a lot more here if we want to get into Q3. Alex Albon's down in P15, the Williams. I'm assuming this season will not be that great as well. We're probably going to be battling a lot with the Williams and the Alfa Romeos, especially because we're kind of all at the bottom there. So it's going to be the battle of the, I guess, lower field. And then George Russell, Oscar Piastri should not be here for very long. They should have no issue getting into Q3. Daniel Ricciardo is out in Q1, I believe. So it's just me, the only AlphaTauri, in our first race of the season, our first qualifying session of the season. We are able to out-qualify Daniel Ricciardo, so good first step to outperforming Daniel Ricciardo this season. By the end of the lap, we are 6 tenths up on our first flyer on those medium tires, and it's not good enough to get into Q3. It's P11 though, which is pretty impressive, I would say, for our first outing in Formula 1. We out-qualified Daniel Ricciardo. Sergio Perez on pole position. It's a Red Bull front row lockout, but let's see what we could do here in this race, in our rookie race. Hopefully we can outperform Daniel Ricciardo, and maybe we can get into the points here. So we are here for our Formula 1 debut in Bahrain, and I'm looking forward to this race as I have been for the last 14 episodes of this series. The F2 cars are not the funnest cars to drive, but we are here in AlphaTauri in what is the worst car on the grid at the moment. So we have a big challenge ahead of us this season. And I don't even know what the goal is, as Lance Stroll just lets me overtake him for some reason. But yeah, I don't know what the goal is here. I think our only goal at the moment would be to do better than Danny Rick, who is our teammate on the season. We have booted Yuki Tsunoda out of his seat. He's been at AlphaTauri long enough, was not able to prove himself, and he is now out of Formula 1. Whether he makes a return to Formula 1 or not in later seasons, we will find out. But Lance Stroll is still behind me, which is weird. I'd like him to pass me just so he doesn't have to pass me later, but whatever. But we're going to be starting on the soft tires here, and then going on to the mediums. This is a 35% race. It looks like everyone in the back is starting on the softs, and then Ocon and Stroll, who are starting in front of me, are starting on the medium or the hards. I'm not sure who else is starting on tires that are not soft tires, but we'll see what happens here in our debut in Formula 1. Let's get right into it. Here we go for our inaugural race, our rookie debut here in Formula 1 with AlphaTauri. We got 5 red lights, and this race is underway, and we got up the line very well. We're going to overtake 1, 2, 3 drivers. See, we're going to ride the grass a bit, get past Fernando Alonso, use that battery, and maybe get ourselves up in a P6 here. We're going to go wide into turn 1. We got turned around. Oh, no. What is that? We got turned around by I don't know who. It might have been Alonso. Did we turn into him? I don't know. Do we have damage on the car? I think we have front wing damage. No. I think we got front wing damage. Oh, yeah, we definitely got front wing damage. We go wide there. But we are able to stay in front of the 2 Aston Martin cars. And we are up in a P8 after not getting completely turned around, but almost turned around. Not the greatest start, but we take 3 spots. And we're going to have to manage this damage throughout the race now. Not in a... Oh, what is that? What is that? Did you not... What is Stroll doing? He just clipped us on the other side now. He's probably pissed that we overtook him. And he just clips our front left with no regard for human life. We got Alonso now going for the move here. And we're going to drop back down into P10. We are still in the points, however. As Alonso going on defense, we're going to try and fight him on this. And take that spot back. Get back into P9. And can we say, or get back into DRS range of Lance Stroll. We are battling with Alonso here. So he's going to try and send it down the inside. And he's going to get it done. Runs wide a little bit. I think he ran over the curb. And that threw off the balance of his car. Allows me to jump back into P10 once again. A lot of action through these first opening laps here in Bahrain. Oh my god, look at this. We got 2 Mercedes power units going for the sandwich move here. And we don't want to get turned in on. Oh, we got to give up both spots. I think we have a little more contact with Fernando Alonso. This time, though, we're going to have DRS. Okay, we got past Alonso here. We don't have too much battery left over. He gets a DRS as well off of George Russell. But we're not going to get past him here. Can we beat him around the outside? No, we're going to have to follow him. Hopefully we can stick with him, though. We are back down into P11 where we started. So after a pretty good start to this race and a little bit of shenanigans in the early stages, our car performance is starting to show here as we fall back down to P11. Pierre Gasly behind us on those hard tires. Can we keep him behind in that Alpine? We're about to find out here. All right, we're about to get double, possibly triple overtaken. We're running the front of this train, and Alex Albon is going to go for the move here. Did we get DRS? I think he might have overtaken us just before the DRS zone. Oh, yes. Okay, we got DRS, so that's going to help us fend off Alex Albon. Or, sorry, Pierre Gasly. But he's going to overtake us anyway. Alex Albon does not have DRS, and there's not really much room for us to go anywhere. It's Albon and Gasly have contact. And who's going to have DRS here? Is it going to be Gasly? Is it going to be Albon? It's going to be Alex Albon. Pierre Gasly, no DRS this time around. And Gasly going to defend. So now we are down into P13. This race is just getting worse for us. These tires not feeling good. We also have a little bit of wing damage, I think, on both ends because Gasly clipped us early on in this race. And then obviously being turned around almost by, I believe it was Fernando Alonso. Gave us front wing damage on the right side there. Okay, we might get a move done on Alex Albon. Oscar Piastri is also hovering around now, trying to get past both of us. We're going to dive down the inside, go for a late lunge on Alex Albon, get back into P12. Can we get back into P11 though? Gasly seems like he's starting to pull away here, and we're going to have to start fending off Alex Albon and Oscar Piastri's Albon. Really tries to squeeze in to that corner there on the inside, but that is going to cost him as he falls back a little bit. Albon actually passes me here before we get down to the DRS marker, because now we will have DRS on Alex Albon, and it'll help us fend off Piastri as well. Can we get past Alex Albon? We are running out of battery. We're only on lap 10 here. And Oscar Piastri is going to get past. He's going to try and go for the move on Albon. He is going to get past. Can we get past Alex Albon as he goes to try and guard the inside? We're going to go wide around turn 1. Can we beat him to the next apex into turn 2? And we are. We are now behind Oscar Piastri this time in P13. Can we ride his coattails for a bit? With that DRS, maybe help us get towards Pierre Gasly, who is still running away with it with a 3.3 second lead at the moment. We're gonna pit this lap. Thank God, because these tires are falling off. It's Alex Albon now trying to go for a move. We're gonna bring him all the way to the inside of the corner and then just shove him wide through turn 1. Keep him within track limits, obviously. But that is how we defend, and we're able to keep P13. We're going to go onto the mediums this time, and they are definitely good enough to get us to the end of this race, because the softs, I mean, they are falling off now, but it is lap 9, so the mediums should last a little longer than that. It suggested to me at the start of this race to go onto the hard, but I said no way. In 20 laps, we could definitely get a better stint off the medium tires. These soft tires, though, are gone, as we are just drifting around. I'm not sure what turn that is. Are they going to replace my wing? I honestly hope they don't, because we don't have too much of a gap to the drivers behind us. We're going to lose a lot of spots if we decide to switch that wing. Let's get into the pits. Let's see. Hopefully we have a good pit stop. Where are we? In the pit garage. I think we're right in the middle this time around. So let's see. I see the McLaren is pitting. The Williams are also pitting. Oh, but did we have a slow stop? Yeah, we had a slow stop. Oh my gosh. It's slow release. I'm not sure how they got those releases timed right, but no wing replacement. So we drop down into P18, and then Piastri right in front of Alex Albon in that McLaren. Which I'm not sure if it's the good McLaren or the bad McLaren. So we're heading on to lap 19 here, the second last lap of this race. We've been sticking with Valtteri Bottas, and I think we're going to try and overtake him here, because I've just been using his DRS to keep me away from Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg, who've been battling it out these last few laps. So now I think would be the time to try and overtake Bottas. He won't have much time to take the spot back if we are able to get it from him. I probably should have tried last lap, because I feel like these tires now are really starting to fall off. So Bottas might be having the same issue as well. So I would say overall it is fair game here. We're on the last lap here. We're not going to have enough juice in the tank to overtake Bottas here, but we could set ourselves up nicely for the run into turn 3. We will have DRS, just our tires are barely holding on, as this is it. We're going to get maybe 1 or 2 more proper runs on Bottas, and he is just too quick. He's way too quick for us, and these tires cannot hold on. We are flying wide around turn 3. As you can see here, 33 on the rear right, and I think it's 31 on the left, so we may have to settle for a P14 here, which I guess you could say is a little bit of a disappointment, because we started in P11 and lost 3 spots, but the pace obviously is not there. We have a pretty good 1-lap pace, and then once these tires are required to drive more than 1 lap, we lose all sense of race pace, and that is why we are down into P14, in my opinion. That's a little reminiscent of Formula 2, but we are also in a very much worse car than the rest of the field. So I will take a P14 on top of that as well. We finished well ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, our teammate. He is 5 seconds almost behind us, 4.7 to be exact. He did, however, go onto the hard tires, so not the proper or correct race strategy for sure. As he suffers because of that. He's in a little bit of a battle actually with Hülkenberg. He might be dragging to the line. We're going to cross the line in P14. I'll take it for our first race. Unfortunately, no points. It was looking a little good at the start. We were in P8 right off the line. Almost got turned around. We did have wing damage too throughout that race. Right through turn 1, we were suffering some front wing damage. So Verstappen is going to take the top step of that podium alongside Sergio Perez, who only finishes 2 seconds behind Verstappen. So for Sergio Perez, I would say that is pretty good, and maybe with a little bit of luck, he could give Verstappen a proper title fight this season. But the sister team, AlphaTauri, the boys down here in P14 and 15, we beat Daniel Ricciardo by about 5 seconds. He did start in P17 though, so he did have a better race in terms of the overtaking. We lost 3 spots overall. We were up in P8, so we lost even more spots if you take that into account, but we do also do better than some of the worst teams here. We do have the worst car on the grid, so we're technically the worst team, but we do better than Haas, we do better than Alfa Romeo on average, and we do better than Williams on average. So we got a pretty good driver lineup for AlphaTauri this season with me and Daniel Ricciardo. Now in the driver standings, obviously we're gonna be in P14 because we didn't score any points. I guess our next goal would be to score points. That is our goal. We're gonna have to get some upgrades into the car, but as I probably said at the start of this video, as I am a driver in this driver career mode series, I am not in charge of any of the upgrades. We are going to leave that to the team. Hopefully our team back at the factory is able to get to work on some upgrades and push us up the standings a little bit so I can showcase my talents a little bit more. Speaking of which, we will have some upgrades coming in for the next race. We'll have a cockpit weight reduction and a beam wing. There's a failed upgrade here in the secondary wing flap, so that will affect our aerodynamics a little bit. No major upgrades though, so we may just get past Alfa Romeo or be right on par with them, which will only help us in the long run, but I'd like the upgrades to be a little bit more significant. But being on a low budget sister team, I'm not sure how good these upgrades will be in the long run. We might be stuck back here for a while. So I hope that these upgrades are in the car for the Australian Grand Prix, because they failed after I simmed through, and they are no longer here in the R&D in progress tab. So that probably means that they redid the upgrades and they are now in the car, or at least that is what I'm hoping for. However, that is going to be it for part 1 of season 2 in our Formula 1 23 driver career mode. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when the next video comes out. We got the Australian Grand Prix, which I'd say I'm pretty good at, so hopefully we could be fighting for the points in that one. Again, if you guys are excited, hit that notification bell, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great night, everyone.